Hey everyone, I'm trying out some new stuff for you guys today. I've got all sorts of different things here, and I've got a jelly highlighter that's going to blow your mind. I have other stuff as well. I have the new Fenty Concealer. I have a new foundation stick from Wet n Wild. And I have the new e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which is supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha primer. Didn't like the Tatcha primer, so I'm glad that the e.l.f. came out with one. But first, thanks for joining me today. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Natasha and this is my makeup party. So today we've got a mix of higher end and lower end. I have all of these products on today. I also used the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette on my eyes. I kind of branched out into some light icy blue today. Haven't done that in a long time. I'll show you how I applied the eyeshadow look today if you're interested in that. So first of all, Fenty Beauty has this new concealer out and everybody is trying it out. Most people are trying it out along with the matching setting powder. I cannot use the setting powder. The setting powder is extremely perfumey. I've used this concealer a couple of times this week. I haven't been just real thrilled with it. There's a huge shade range. Of course, it's Fenty Beauty. There would be an enormous shade range. They have got it right. But I did get number 120. Here's what number 120 looks like. This is the Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Concealer, by the way. Nice frosted bottle here, very high-end looking. Here is the Pro Filt'r. This is number 120. It is extremely, extremely light. It has a lot of peach to it, very peach undertone. It looks really nice and creamy and heavy on the back of my hand. But then when you shear it out, it kind of loses some of that opacity. It's a little less opaque. You can see kind of through it more. I believe this is meant to be more of a medium concealer. I don't think it's supposed to be super full coverage. And it's covering pretty well. I just don't like the way it sort of looks a little chalky, besides the fact that it's a little light. I'll show you how I applied this. Next, we're going to do the Fenty Concealer. What I've been doing lately is, I got a sample from Milk Makeup of this cooling water, and I've been putting that under my eyes before I put on any concealer. It's a nice smoothing base. I kind of work it between my fingers first to make sure it's real melty, and dab under there. Here's the Fenty Pro Filt'r. Let's dab that along. I'm going to put quite a bit on for me. I mean, sometimes I watch videos and people are like, I'm just going to put a little bit, and it's because I'm like, I could never put that much on. I would look like I was 90 years old. Alright, I'm going to dab in with my beauty blender. Okay, it is very white. It is a very light color. I'm going to go back with some more. It has a really paint-like smell. I hadn't never noticed that before. At least it's not perfumed. A lot of Fenty stuff is super perfumed. Under my eyes, I'm going to use the Becca Under Eye Setting Powder. That looks pretty good. It's not looking real dry. Okay, next up is from e.l.f. This is the Poreless Putty Primer. Everyone is freaking out about this. I finally found some of this in my local Walmart. I had been to Target. I had been everywhere. Nobody had it. They had a couple of them at my local Walmart. This is supposed to be an $8 dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I think it is pretty close. Now, I do not have the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer anymore. I did not like it. The reason I didn't like it is because I would put it on in a thin layer over my face and it would pill up. There were these little pills of the primer all over my face. I'd have to flick those away. This primer, I think, is very close to it. It's the same color. It feels very much the same from what I can remember. The smell, it has sort of a makeup-y plastic smell, so it doesn't have any of that perfume in it. So here's what it looks like. It is very creamy. It's a very nice creamy product. I did notice when I'm putting it on, one thing I did not notice with the Tatcha, when I'm putting this on my forehead, it looked kind of very shiny. The Tatcha never really at any point looked shiny. This looked a little greasy on my forehead. My forehead was not greasy when I put it on. I don't know really what that is doing, but it does not affect the product in any way for it to look greasy. It is not a greasy product. It doesn't make your foundation feel greasy or look greasy. I've had this on for a little while now, and I think it is doing a fabulous, fabulous job. My pores look wonderful through here. They never look this good. And these lines are gone. I never have that. So I'm crazy about this Poreless Putty Primer. I'll show you how that applied on the skin. It is a little pink. It doesn't give any sort of a pasty looking cast. There's no white cast on your skin. It just melts right into your skin, and it takes care of those pores and these lines. I mean, these lines, they never look that good. Okay, Poreless Putty. Let's have some fun with this. I like to put on quite a bit. There's a dip right there. Sort of do this. This is really nice. This is a really nice primer. I'm going to start with it right through here because I have a lot of pores and I have a lot of problems with my foundation not sticking to the sides of my nose. Put some more down here. Pressing it in and kind of pushing up in those pored areas. Now we're going to see what it does on my forehead because my forehead is not oily. As you can see, it's not oily right now. When I put this on here the other day, it looked really shiny up there. It made it, and the rest of my face is not that shiny. Next, my foundation, Wet n Wild Photofocus Stick Foundation. The color I got is called Shell Ivory. So, being a big fan of the Photofocus liquid foundation of theirs, I thought I would scoop one of these stick foundations up. I don't have a lot of luck with stick foundations. A lot of times they end up looking very greasy on me. I'll put them on and within an hour I'm looking greasy. I don't know why. I have dry skin. I don't have greasy skin. Let me show you what this one looks like. I've so far been really impressed with this. This is the second time I've worn it this week. So far pretty impressed with it. Nice big stick. I did have to build this today to get it to the level it's at. So I'm thinking this stick is not going to last me just real long. Here is your Shell Ivory. This has a lot of peach, sort of, not really pink, but more peach to it. I think the lighter shades in this, like there's a porcelain, I think that one goes pretty pink. It has a very nice dewy, I think, natural to dewy finish. I'm really impressed with it, not greasy looking. So I'll show you in the video how this applied. It is holding up really well. I do have a nice setting spray on top of it. And now I'm going to put my stick foundation on top of it. This is the color is Shell Ivory. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus Stick Foundation. I'm gonna put that on top. I think this is a pretty good color match for me. What I'm gonna do is first, I do have a wettened beauty blender here. I'm going to, I think, first of all, sort of push this around with a brush. And then I'm going to see what the Beauty Blender adds to that. Because this is sort of a stiffer product, because it's a stick, I think sort of dabbing it around with the brush is probably best. We're giving this Poreless Putty a real workout with a stick foundation. A gentler thing to do would have been a liquid foundation, but I really want to be able to use this every day. Probably need a little more here and my nose, and touching up over my melasma-y stuff and my freckles there. Now I think I'll go in with my Beauty Blender. Where is it? With my Beauty Blender and move this next layer around with that. This is nice. Okay, this stuff is not going instantly into my smile lines, and that may be because of the Poreless Primer, or it may be because of the product. Okay, very nice, Wet n Wild. I'm going to go into my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder and set this Wet n Wild, because I feel like the color on it is really good. The color on this stick foundation is very good, and I don't want to add, and I also don't want to lighten. And this one is kind of just real neutral. Now, next I'm going to show you something. I do not have any highlighter on right now. I'm going to show you something that's going to be mind-blowing. If you have ever tried a jelly highlighter and been disappointed, you are going to love these. If you like a brilliant, can see it from space highlighter, robot looking metallic like I do, you're going to love these from Makeup Revolution. I have all 3 shades of their jelly highlighters here with me, and I'll tell you right now, I usually hate jelly highlighters. I don't use liquid highlighters and I don't use jelly highlighters because neither of them work for me. Number one, a lot of the jelly highlighters out there, particularly in the drugstore brands, they don't give you any kind of highlight. They're really, really subtle, and I like an extreme highlight. And number two, they love to melt right through your makeup. So you can put this on top of whatever you want on your cheek. I have worn this several times in the last couple weeks. I absolutely love it. You can build it. You can layer the colors. Does nothing to the stuff that's underneath. So I have all of my bronzer, my contour, my blush on, my foundation, my powder. I'm going to put these on for you live, and I'm going to stack them up on my cheeks, and I'm going to glow. Okay, first let me show you the different colors. These are Makeup Revolution. I got all 3 of these at Ulta. They are the jelly highlighters. We have 3 colors. We have Monumental, which is a golden color. We have Prestigious, which is sort of a rose gold or pinkish. And then I have a brilliant one you can only get online at Ulta. This one's called Dazzling, and it is silver. What I'll do is I'll swatch them, and then I'll start layering them on my cheek. So this is the color called Prestigious. It's very jellyish. It's very boogery. It's not, look how pretty that is in the cap, that swirl. It's very goopy. Let me see if I can get it to goop on. See? Goopy. It's very goopy. It has a ton of sparkle and shine to it. It has a ton. I had this on in my glitter video, and it's so beautiful. So this is sort of a rose gold one right there. Yeah, look at that. I told you it was nuts. These are messy. Yes, they're messy. They're going to kind of glop all onto the cap like this one has. I'll show you the other colors. I did have to search at several Ultas for both of these 2 shades, and then the next one, the silver one I'm going to show you, is only online. So here's the gold one called Monumental. Absolutely gorgeous. It is golden perfection once again. Check that out. I'll put this one on a little more subtly. That's it right there. And now for the silver. It's crazy. It is Dazzling. Dazzling. I love the lids on these. They're so pretty. This one has a little mountain, little peak there going on. What I like to do is I use one of the other 2 jellies, and then I put this as sort of a spotlight in the very middle. That's it right here. So Dazzling, Monumental, and Prestigious. They're gorgeous. I think what I'm going to do is put this pink one on and then put that on as a spotlight and show you how those look layered. They're so pretty. I just dabbed them on with my finger, so I'm going to dab this Prestigious color on in sort of a larger area here. And some over here. I just cannot really believe that it doesn't eat through my stuff. Now I'm not rubbing or smearing, I'm patting, but it doesn't eat through my makeup. What is with that? Jelly highlighters always eat through makeup. That's why I skip them. That's why I just use powder highlighters. Let's blend that a little around the edges. It's beautiful. I could put on a little more, just a dab more, and get it really crazy. And then I'm going to put that Dazzling in the very center. A little bit of the Dazzling. Then I'm going to take a clean finger and dab, dab, dab. Now, is that a highlighter or what? Still, with all of this that I've put on, no eating through the makeup. It's still all right there. Can you see? There is no eating through whatsoever. Usually with something like this, with one layer, you can already see my skin. So finally, somebody got it right in the dazzling but not eating through your makeup jelly highlights. So thanks for joining me again, you guys. Thanks for everybody's wonderful emails, and I'll see you next time. Okay, starting in my transition area with this light tan there. I just never use this palette. It needed to be seen, poor thing. It's so pretty if you like metallics. And dipping into the next color for my inner crease is this one right here. Heading up along that edge with some more of the previous transition color. That one's called Canyon. Blending in my very outer corner, this very dark color here. I'll blend that dark color a little better in a minute once I get all the rest of this stuff on. I'm now going to put the color called Prickly Pear, and that is right here on the outer third of my lid. Sort of a flattish brush. Ooh, that one picked up. Kind of wasn't expecting that one to pick up on the brush like that, but it did. This one is reflectively duochroming. Okay, dipping into the color called Turquoise. I'm putting that on my lid. Just because I haven't worn this kind of color on my lid since the 80s. Drag some of that dark color from the outer corner up into this inner crease just a little ways, not a long way, just a little way. I'm going to go into the color called Serenity and go up under my brow bone with it. Those ones over there on that side are large enough you can use them as highlighters too. I think I'm going to put something gold on along my lower lash line, this golden color here. That's Terrain. I'm going to put something gold on along my lower lash line, this golden color here. That's Terrain. I'm going to sort of make a wider line with that under there. Kind of bring it down a little farther down here, and then I'll do a tighter line with that dark brown up under my lash line.